Hello friends, so welcome to our channel. So today we are going to discuss explicitly about a particular segment of British poetry which is very frequently asked. So before we do that, I would like to welcome all the new members of this channel who have subscribed our channel lately. Thank you all for the support and the faith you have shown on us. Basically, in today's session, what I'm going to suggest is a very predictable question that has been asked lately in previous years, which is being portrayal of a particular poet as a modernist poet or a political poet or a writer of philosophical and love poetry. So guys, it's very important that we study the brief background of these following poets, which are namely W.V. Yeats, Andrew Marvell, Chaucer, Herbert Spencer, Donne, Marvell, Milton, Dryden, Pope, Burns, Blake, Coleridge and Wordsworth. The other poets in this category being Shelley, Browning, D.J., Krishna Rossetti, Oscar Wilde, Dylan Thomas, Philip Larkin, Sylvia Plath. Coming to the previous year's question papers, in June 2018, a question was asked for 20 marks to write a critic of W.B. Yeats as a modernist poet. Also in the previous year, June 2017, it was asked to assess Andrew Marvell either as a political poet or as a writer of philosophical and love poetry for 20 marks. So in today's session, we are going to discuss about June 2018 question paper that was asked about W.B. Yeats portrayed as a modernist poet. In order to answer this question, guys, first of all, we need to have a basic understanding about what is modernism. According to Wikipedia, modernism is a philosophical movement that, along with cultural trends and changes, arose with wide-scale and far-reaching transformation in Western society during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Among the factors that shaped modernism were the development of modern industrial societies and rapid growth of cities, followed then by the reactions of horror of World War I. Modernism also rejected the certainty of Enlightenment thinking, and many modernists rejected religious belief. One thing, guys, that we need to remember about English language modernist poets or the entire modernism period, which includes some big names like W.H. Auden, Elizabeth Bishop, Robert Brooke, T.S. Eliot, Robert Frost, is that all of them were inspired and influenced by the horrors of World War I. The reason behind that is that modernism era of English literature went quite parallelly after the World War I, as World War I started in 28 July 1914 and lasted till 11 November 1918. Coming to the June 2018 question paper of British poetry, where it was asked to portray W.B. Yeats as a modernist poet, what we can do here is we can remember some key points like how he influenced his successors like T.S. Eliot, Ezra Pound, and W.B. Yeats. We can also mention the themes which Yeats very prominently mentioned in his poetry, which are love, Irish nationalism, and mysticism, and overall modernism, which was the overriding theme in his writings. Now, guys, we need to remember that Irish nationalism has a huge influence in his literary career because obviously W.B. Yeats is an Irish nationalist. As I mentioned before, most of the modernist poets have suffered the trauma of World War I, and their poetry clearly reflects it, and W.B. Yeats is no exception in this regard, as he regrets the post-war modern world, which is now in disorder and chaotic tuition, and laments for the past. Now, since this is a question of 20 marks, we have to make sure that we also mention his poems, in which we can exclusively mention Easter 1916, where we can see his sense of humanism, which is another modern trait in literature. The horrible effects of war cast a gloomy shadow on the poetic sensibility of the modern poets. He even feels for his rival. He had done most bitter wrong to some who are near my heart. His use of symbol is another trait in his poetry which is complex and rich. He is chief representative of the symbolist movement. We can also add that how he draws his symbols from Irish folklore and mythology, philosophy, metaphysics, occult, magic, paintings and drawings. Several allusions are compressed into a single symbol. His symbols are all pervasive key symbols. The rose, swan and Helen are his key symbols. Symbols give dumb things voices, bodiless things bodies. Thus, Yeats is one of the most celebrated modern poets who flourished in the beginning of 20th century and created his own style of poetry in order to show their dissatisfaction with the world.